Hi. Okay, so I'm kind of dressed up because I'm coming back from work. I'm actually headed out right now for a bike ride. But half marathon, let's talk about that. I freaking hated it. Every minute of it, I hated it. Let me just break it down for you to see exactly what happened. If you're not a ranter person, if you're a person who's very positive, this video might not be for you because I'm ranting in this video. Like I'm angry in this video. Okay, so this is your chance right now to put stop because like I'm gonna be like angry in this whole video. Okay, so let me just explain something to you. When I go visit Ottawa, I go back to my old home, my parents' house. I live in Orleans, okay? Orleans in Ottawa is like a secluded suburbs area of the town. It's kind of out there, but the place my parents live at, it's like even more secluded. It's in the boonies of the suburbs. To get there, you have to take this long like road that's all dark and like has deers running around in the middle of the night sometimes, and you have to be careful of your car. And if you want to take the bus, it runs every hour. And because I don't have a car when I go to Ottawa, I have to rely on my parents to like give me some rides. I gotta hustle a little bit, you know what I mean? So, so like it's very annoying to like get anywhere in Ottawa when I'm visiting. So with that saying, day of the marathon, well, like the half marathon, the day of the race, I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and I have to be there by 9 a.m., which is the registration cutoff time. Sorry, I'm in front of a window, so like I'm trying to not look creepy. People are walking by me and I'm like, hey. Okay, so I have to be there by 9 a.m. in the morning. I wake up at 6 o'clock just so I can kind of make time to get dressed quickly and catch that bus. The thing is that upon review of the bus schedule, I either will arrive really, really early or really, really late. The registration time is at 9 a.m. and the race time is at 10. And when I wake up in the morning, it's so cold outside, it's windy, it's raining. It's just like a very bad day. And you don't want to be waiting outside for a long time. So I'm like, you know what? I have to hustle a ride from my parents. So I get dressed and everything like that. And I go to my mom and I'm like, hey mom, so happy Sabbath. Because we're Seventh-day Adventist. I'm like, I know you're going to church, but can I maybe like get a ride to, my race? It's kind of in the way a little bit. Can I please get a ride? My mom's like, no, unless you're going to church, you're not taking a ride with us. I'm so angry. I'm just like, whatever. I asked my dad. My dad's his accent. He's like, sorry, Martin, you're going to church. And I'm like, oh, fine. I'm kind of like, okay, should I just take that bus and like just make it there and like, just standing in the cold? Or should I just like try to walk to, a location that's closer to another bus? Like I didn't know what to do. I step outside to like feel out the weather to see if maybe I could catch that early bus. And I go outside, I go like this. That's what I do to like see what the weather is. I was just like, oh hells no. Crappiest weather ever. Raining, cold, windy, just like crappy. Who the hell wants to wait in the cold for a race? So I'm just like, you know what? I'll just take a cab. I'm just gonna take a cab. So then I call the cab. It's 8 o'clock in the morning at this time. At this point, the operator's like, okay, it's gonna be there 5 to 7 minutes. So I'm like, okay, I have time to get there. It's only like 20 minutes away. I'm good to go. I'm waiting for the cab. I'm pacing back and forth. I'm trying to hustle and ride at the same time. Mom's still like, no. And I'm like waiting again, and I get impatient, and I'm like, yo, I gotta make this race, yo. It's 8:30. I call the cab driver people, and then they tell me that the cab hasn't been dispatched yet. So I'm like freaking out because I gotta get there before 9 o'clock to register for this race, and I'm like kind of pumped for this race. I kind of want to do it, So the guy's like, okay, well, like we're still waiting for a cab, and I was like, okay, so it hasn't even come to me yet. He's like, no. I'm like, you know what? Cancel it. And I'm just like really like stressed out. Like, how am I gonna get there? Like, so I call a different cab company. Thankfully, they end up getting there. On the ride to the location, I kind of remember that I don't have cash to pay for the registration up front. It's cash only, right? So I'm like, crap. And I tell the cab driver, just go to the nearest bank and I'll go get some money. Online, it says $85, right? So I go and get my money from the bank, and I hop back in the cab. We thankfully make it there, I think at like 9:01. So I run in like, thank you, and I give the cab money his $29. Cost me like so much money. I run in and I try to register for it, and she registers me and she gives me my stuff, and then she's like, okay, that'd be $115. I'm just like, I only got $85. This is crazy. And she's like, oh, it's usually more expensive at registration day. I mean, race day. I'm like, oh, okay, I only have like a certain amount of money. Where's the nearest bank? And the really nice lady tries to give me directions, and she's like, you know what, whatever, you're a student today. So I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I didn't expect that. I wasn't hustling, I promise. So I get my stuff, I put my bib on. I think I have it here somewhere, but anyway, I put my bib on. It's like 9:69 or something like that. I'm just like waiting. It's like so boring just waiting. I felt like so lonely because everyone had their families and their kids there, and like they're just like groups of people were there, and I'm just like standing at the side, like waiting for the race to start. I just felt so lonely. Like I was like, why the hell am I here, like alone? Who the hell races alone? Finally, it's time to start the race at 10 o'clock, and I'm standing in the front, and gun goes off. Time to go. So I start running. It's a good jog for a bit, but for some reason I just got bored so easily. Like I got so bored after a while. Like I'm like, is it been an hour yet? Like what time is it? Where I train, I train in a suburb, so I see houses, I see cars, I see like different scenery. So we were at I don't know, the parkway. I'm not sure where we were, but we were in this area where it's all these trees. It's just this big long road, and you just see all this winding road where you can see that you have to run all that way. So it's kind of depressing and like just the most boring thing ever. I just wasn't enjoying it. Like I wasn't feeling it. It wasn't a good day. It was just like all out. Like what the hell? Not only that, this is really mean, okay? But at the halfway point of every lap, there's people who give you Gatorade and water. For some reason, whenever I'd be running past them and they'd be like trying to like give me Gatorade, I'd just be like, leave me alone. If I want Gatorade, I'd like come near to you. But as soon as I start running, they'd be like, and I'm like, no, get away from me. I'm not in a good mood for Gatorade. I don't want Gatorade. And I was such in a bad mood while running that after a while, little things start to annoy me that usually wouldn't really annoy anybody, but it annoyed me because I was just over it. There comes a point in the race where like people who run the 5Ks and the 10Ks kind of go away because they're done, and you become a lone ranger. So people are either running way ahead of you or way behind you. So there's this one runner who insisted on like running right beside me at the same pace for like 10 minutes. I don't know why, but it bothered me so much. I was just like, you gotta run faster or slower than me because to each their own in this race. That was just me being in a bad mood. That sounds so mean, but it's true. I was like not in the mood to be social in a race. The worst thing too is there was one point where I do a lap and I thought that was the last lap. So I start sprinting for my life. I'm like, yeah, I'm done. I'm out of here. So I'm running and I'm like almost gonna throw up because I'm running so fast. Next thing you know, I crossed the finish line and they're like, okay, go ahead. I still had 7K to go. I was so disappointed. I slowed right down. I even thought about quitting, but I was like, no, I can't do it. So I continued on that 7K. After a while, I started feeling better. Like I was really winded at first. I was like, want to throw up because I ran so fast. But after a while, I kind of like got back into my pace and I started like breathing better. I don't know. It just was not a good day for a race, but I'm so happy I completed. So when I finally finished the race, I was so happy. I was like, yay! Unfortunately, I had nobody waiting for me. So it was kind of sad when I like crossed the finish line and then I had to like walk to the bus stop like half an hour out of the way, and it was really cold and I had no jacket because I like came empty-handed, and like I hopped on the bus. I was like still wearing my number and my medal around my neck and holding a flower, and like I just felt so like lonely, and I had to take another bus when I got to the mall. It took me like a whole hour to get home and I was all sweaty and like cold and shivering. And I know it sounds like a pity party, but like I really didn't enjoy that part. I think that killed it for me. Got home, put my pajamas on, chilled. I wish I could show you the medal. I have it at work and I kind of look at it when I'm working and I'm like, good call, Martine. Yeah, I'm so happy I did it. And you know what? Even if I hated it, I'm happy I did it. Like honestly, thank you so much for the encouragement.